New overnight, a sit-out on State Street following the fatal officer-involved shooting on Wednesday.
And I'm tracking an alert day for heat both Sunday and Monday, as well as storms tonight. All of that coming up soon.
Plus, Cyclospora linked to iceberg lettuce, the 4 states it's expanded to. And later, the local girl representing Wisconsin at Miss Amazing, how the opportunity boosts confidence for females with disabilities. Good morning, I'm Michelle Renee Quinn. It's Sunday, July 26th, and you're watching Weekend Mornings. We begin with an update on the fallout across Madison as people continue to gather at the intersection of Willie and Baldwin Streets, where Corey Ruiz was shot by a Madison police officer. Just blocks away from the Capitol, hundreds of demonstrators gathered last night advocating for both Ruiz and his family by performing a sit-out. That means they are not sitting in any of the businesses, rather they're gathering outside the doors, making sure they have to be closed. This is to stop them from getting money for the day. Whiskey Jack's is one of the first businesses the sit-out began at, and organizers are emphasizing that this is organized and they're doing it on behalf of Corey Ruiz. They do have demands. Number 1, arrest the officer. Number 2, all independent information to be given to the Civilian Oversight Board. And number 3, the Civilian Oversight Board to have disciplinary power. Demonstrators say they won't stop until demands are met.
When we made the demands in 2020, that was the establishment of the Civilian Oversight Board. When we said no, stood up as youth, I was 19 years old at the time, saying, hey, no, we want a Civilian Oversight Board. We want community control over the police, and we got it. And since 6 years since then, they have been underfunding us, cutting us every step of the way. And so it's paramount that we strengthen this board, because if the board has the opportunity to do proper investigations, to hire and fire police officers instead of giving them suspension with pay.
The family of Corey Ruiz hired prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who made it a point to describe Ruiz's death as an execution. The family says they won't stop fighting until they get justice. As a reminder, Williamson Street and South Baldwin Street will remain closed indefinitely. Portions of the roads have been closed since Wednesday afternoon when the Madison police officer shot and killed 38-year-old Corey Ruiz at the intersection. Willie Street is closed to vehicles from just east of the Willie Street Co-op to South Dickinson Street. South Baldwin Street is closed between East Wilson Street and Jennifer Street. You can detour around the area using First Street, East Washington Avenue, and South Ingersoll Street. The demonstrations closed the Dane County Farmers Market early. It only ran from 6:15 a.m. to 10 a.m. yesterday instead of closing at its usual 1:15 p.m. In a Facebook post, the market said, quote, "We close at 10 a.m. today. Our community is hurting right now. Take care of each other." It's 7:03 now. Let's get you started for the day with a look at your first warn forecast. Meteorologist Jason Carlson has that. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle Renee. We're looking at alert day heat for Sunday and Monday as well. We could see feels like temperatures up into those triple digits. So we're back into the full swing of summer. We have a heat advisory for Madison, and in our western counties, we have an extreme heat warning. And that's because those feels like temperatures could reach 105 degrees out there. It's going to be a very hot one for Sunday and Monday as well. That extreme heat warning already is set to go through Monday. Here in Madison, we aren't 100% sure if we'll reach that temperature on Monday, just based on those morning storms that may roll through. Looking at what that feels like temperature could look like, we're going to see 98 here in Madison for this afternoon, 103 La Crosse, 100 up in Eau Claire, a very hot one. Then as we go towards Monday, we get hot once again. If those storms clear out, we could see a feels like temperature of 103 here in Madison. Speaking of those storms, we have a scattered risk of severe weather. All more on the timing of those storms and track them out on Futurecast coming up soon.
All right, we'll be checking in shortly. Thank you. In national news, Houston, community members gathered Saturday to call for an end to ICE operations there. The event also served as a vigil for Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, who was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Houston earlier this month, and for Johann Sebastian Guerrero, who was shot and killed by a federal officer in Maine. And it may not have crossed your mind, but the Transportation Security Administration is reminding air travelers that you can use hammocks at the airport. The TSA shared a post on Wednesday showing hammocks being used in gate areas. When asked, the TSA said the post was in celebration of National Hammock Day. They also suggest checking with TSA about where you can hang hammocks inside terminals. Several states are facing a large and growing outbreak of diarrhea caused by Cyclospora. It's a microscopic parasite that can contaminate fresh food or water. This year, the FDA has launched investigations into 6 outbreaks. The largest of these is a 9-state outbreak in the Midwest, which could turn out to be one of the largest outbreaks of foodborne illnesses here in 3 decades. As Jen Sullivan explains, here's how you can avoid getting sick.
Cases of a diarrhea illness known as cyclosporiasis have risen drastically this summer. It's a gastrointestinal infection caused by a parasite.
It's transmitted by food and water.
As of Friday, 41 states have reported at least 1 case this season, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But this specific outbreak is concentrated in the 9 states listed on this map. Their health departments have reported over 12,000 cases of cyclosporiasis so far this summer. At least 98 people have been hospitalized, according to the CDC.
This may be a more complicated set of outbreaks than simply just one with one source.
Symptoms include explosive diarrhea, nausea, abdominal cramping, bloating, and fatigue. And unlike a stomach bug that lasts 24 to 48 hours, symptoms of cyclosporiasis can last for weeks if untreated. The Food and Drug Administration says the likely source linked to the 9-state outbreak is shredded iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms to Mexico. The company voluntarily recalled the product last week.
We do have the outbreak under control. We have done extensive forensics, epidemiological forensics.
But experts say symptoms of the illness can take up to 2 weeks, and the epidemiological curve of new cases hasn't yet slowed.
It's going to be hard to sort this out for one of these major centralized distributors.
The CDC recommends washing all fruits and vegetables thoroughly before eating and notes washing alone cannot guarantee the parasite's removal, but cooking can kill the parasite. Make sure you're not eating lettuce that has been recalled. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Let's check in now on your certified most accurate forecast. Jason's got that for you this morning. Hey.
Good morning, Michelle Renee. We got a little bit of fog out there. Those visibility concerns are low, especially as you go out towards western Wisconsin. You'll see it's 72. That's a little bit warm for fog, but that just shows how humid it is out there today. And that humidity is going to help spark up some storms tonight. We have that slight risk of severe weather. Tracking that out on Futurecast, it might be more Monday morning than really tonight. So we'll see strong storms spark up across northern Wisconsin, push off to the south as we go throughout those morning hours. This could be off to our east. We're tracking where exactly this band sets up, but anywhere along the leading edge of that band, we could see very strong winds. So that's why, based on our severe risks, we're mainly concerned for winds tonight. We could see winds 70 miles an hour plus, but tornadoes and hail are also possible. I'll have how long our heat lasts and when we could see some nicer weather coming up soon.
All right, thank you, Jason. Still ahead, we will be continuing our Priced Out series. And after that, Jason will be back with your full forecast. He's tracking when we're cooling down right after the break.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. In continuation of our Priced Out series, a new national housing bill recently passed through Congress and became law after President Donald Trump decided to neither sign it nor veto it. Affordable housing expert at UW-Madison, Paul Aylesworth, says the bill uses multiple levers to try and stimulate housing creation, but it will take time to see any results. He also has questions about its affordable housing benefits.
Housing construction is capital intensive, and affordable housing for low-income folks generally requires subsidy. The bill's revenue neutral. So how can a bill adequately address our country's massive and broadly felt housing challenges without any new appropriations? I think that remains to be seen.
Aylesworth also has concerns on HUD's ability to administrate the bill after losing a quarter of its workforce last year. Now it's time to track that first warn forecast this morning. We've got an alert day coming up, and meteorologist Jason Carlson is live from our studio in Madison with everything we need to know this morning.
Yeah, it was calm and refreshing last week, but as we go into the weekend, we're getting hot. We're going to have dangerous heat for both Sunday and Monday. Those feels like temperatures well into those triple digits, especially in southwestern Wisconsin today, and then moves into southern Wisconsin as we go into Monday for that most most intense heat. Looking at our muggy meter, we're going to have very humid to even oppressive conditions out there. So it's going to be temperatures in those low 90s, but with those oppressive dew points, that's going to catapult those temperatures up into those triple digits. Looking at what those feels like temperatures may be at our hottest point Sunday, 97 here in Madison, 102 La Crosse, 100 Eau Claire. So very hot for your Sunday, and that's going to stick around into our Monday as well. After some storms roll through overnight, we could see it feels like temperatures get up to 106 in the Dells, 103 here in Madison, even 110 in Lone Rock. That might be a little bit hot, but feels like temperatures up to 105 are definitely in the realm of possibilities for tomorrow, especially if those storms clear out very early on for our Monday. But overnight, we have a slight risk of severe weather, and this may be more into Monday morning than Sunday night, especially across southern Wisconsin. As we look at those risks with these storms, they may form into lines, and that's going to produce wind gusts as our biggest concern. Wind gusts could be up to 70 miles an hour, maybe stronger, and then tornadoes and hail are also possible, but not going to be the most widespread risk with this system. Tracking it out on Futurecast, we could see this line of storms move out of northern Wisconsin and across southeastern Wisconsin as we go into those very early Monday morning hours, even getting into when you wake up for your morning commute. So we'll see that line of storms has that bow shape, which is indicative of maybe very strong winds at this time, and we'll see that move on off and clear out very early on for our Monday. By 8 o'clock, it should be out of here, so it's a very overnight threat. Make sure you have a way to get those weather alerts overnight so you know when that storm is going to be in your area. If you're heading outside this morning, it's very nice, but there's a lot of fog out there. 2 miles of visibility in Plattsville, 1 in Eau Claire, and some fog down there in Monroe. Not very good visibility down there. Looking at that 10-day out in La Crosse, our 2 hot days with those overnight storms Sunday night into Monday morning, and then you clear on out. And looking at our Madison forecast, we have those 2 alert days for heat as well as storms, especially in that overnight period tonight into tomorrow, but feels like temperatures in those triple digits. And then as we go into next week, a very nice summer pattern, mid-80s and sunshine for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
All right, thank you, Jason. Madison voters are suing the Wisconsin Elections Commission over new guidance on absentee ballots. The lawsuit challenges a rule that says voters cannot replace a mail-in ballot if their chosen candidate drops out before Election Day. The case follows Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez's exit from the governor's race. Plaintiffs want a judge to block the rule before the August 11th primary. And the Wisconsin Department of Transportation says reconstruction of the Wisconsin Dells Parkway is beginning in September. The work is focused on the parkway between Highway 13 and East Adams Street. It'll include pavement, curb, and gutter replacements, as well as improvements to a nearby shared use path. The full project is expected to be finished in spring 2029. When construction starts, drivers can expect long-term lane closures nearby, as well as one-way traffic during fall and spring. There may also be single lane closures during summer weeknights. If you want to learn more, WISC personnel are hosting a meeting on the project tomorrow. That's from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Frank Fisher Senior Center. Still ahead, we're talking about a pageant celebrating disabilities and the girl representing Wisconsin on the national stage. And coming up in our next half hour, Kyrian Lee and Dr. Rupa Shah get off the couch in this weekend's health conversation, showing us the benefits of a fitness routine. You won't want to miss what's next. We'll be right back. But first, your morning motivational quote for today. It is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. Queen Elizabeth II said that. We'll be right back on Weekend Mornings with a look at your forecast. Keep it here.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. A Stevens Point girl with Down syndrome will represent Wisconsin in the National Miss Amazing pageant. Emma White won the Wisconsin Miss Amazing competition in the preteen category earlier this year. The pageants provide a chance for girls and women with disabilities to build confidence and self-esteem. Emma's mom says she thrives in the limelight. Emma says she gets to do something she loves, sing for people.
That's like I put on you. Focus.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus song, I Put a Spell on You, is her talent, so she's super excited to put a spell on the judges, she said.
They're in Chicago right now for the pageant that takes place all weekend, so best of luck to Emma. And the Sierra de Espadon wildfire is burning across several fronts in eastern Spain, and the weather isn't making it any easier to contain. You can see the blaze engulfing trees and burning along the roadside. Valencian Regional Weather Agency says the weather conditions remained highly adverse, with temperatures around 95 degrees Fahrenheit, strong winds, and humidity. That was expected to increase to around 40% overnight. This fire adds to 3 major fires in the Madrid vicinity, 2 of which merged Friday. Around 88,000 people have been evacuated or ordered to remain in their homes because of the fires. While there's no rain in their forecast, the increase in humidity could aid firefighting efforts. And meteorologist Jason Carlson is joining us now to explain just how that humidity can help.
Yeah, that humidity helps draw, or when you have low humidity, it draws out all the moisture in those plants, and those plants go up in flames very easily. That's kind of what we saw with our last heat dome. So we saw those warm temperatures, but it was very dry, and that's what led to those wildfires really taking off across southern Canada and in parts of Minnesota. So speaking of now, we do have some smoke in the sky. So these are from wildfires out west in Oregon and Washington, but this smoke is not reaching the surface. We have good air quality across the region. It's just hazy skies, and it made the sun rise this morning quite pretty. You could see the little red sun through that smoke and clouds out there. So no air quality concerns now. This morning's been pretty good temperature-wise, 77, very warm for 7 a.m., but you can still get out there and do things. You'll feel how muggy it is out there. 81 as we go towards 11, and then as we get towards 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock, it's going to be hot. Those feels like temperatures nearing those triple digits, as we'll see 93 with dew points in those 70s. So a very hot one today. That's why we have alert day heat today and tomorrow. But once we get past Monday, we have storms tonight, hot Monday. Once we get past that, we'll have a nice cool down coming our way. Very classic summer temperatures. So checking in on that 10-day forecast, we have those alert days for heat today, and watch out for overnight storms Sunday into Monday. But once we get past that, a very nice summer pattern for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
All right, I am certainly looking forward to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Thanks, Jason. More Weekend Mornings is coming up after the break. Ahead, the road closures to keep in mind if you're traveling downtown this week. And be a part of Weekend Mornings by sending us a song. My email is on your screen now, so tune in to Weekend Mornings to hear it. Keep it here. We'll be right back after the break. Developing from breaking news overnight, organizers have planned to sit out on State Street advocating for the family of Colyer Ruiz. Ahead, what exactly a sit-out is and what results demonstrators are hoping for.
And alert day heat is back. Those feels like temperatures are going to be in the 100s for Sunday and Monday, as well as I'm tracking some storms for those overnight hours. More on that soon.
Plus, a sneak peek at For the Record, what the mayor is saying when it comes to body cameras. Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us this weekend. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn.
And I'm meteorologist Jason Carlson.
It's Sunday, July 26th. You're watching Weekend Mornings, and Jason is tracking alert day for us into tomorrow. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it was so refreshing last week. We saw some 60s, some 40s for those morning lows, but now we're back into that alert day heat.
Yeah, our AC is just going like this, toggling back and forth.
Welcome back to summer, everyone.
Here we are.
We're going to see that alert day heat for Sunday and Monday as well, and that's going to be those feels like temperatures up in those triple digits. Our regular temperatures are going to be in those 90s, so a very hot weather coming our way, and that's why we have a heat advisory until tonight for Madison and areas east all the way to Milwaukee, and that's going to be feels like temperatures up to 100 degrees, and we have an extreme heat warning out until Monday night. It's going to stay hot for the folks in western Wisconsin, La Crosse, Eau Claire as well, up to 105 degrees for that feels like temperatures, as well as they're going to stay hot into Monday. We're going to stay hot here, but there's still some uncertainty as we'll have some storms moving through. Looking at what those future cast feels like could be, a lot of triple digits out to our west. 104 Prairie du Chien, 102 La Crosse. Here in Madison, only 98, but that's still very hot. You still want to take those heat precautions for Sunday and into Monday, as well as we'll see triple digits once again. And this heat's going to fuel some storms as we go into tomorrow. So be alert for that, and I'll have that future track on those storms coming up soon.
All right, thanks, Jason. We'll be checking in shortly. Now we begin with an update on the fallout across Madison as people continue to gather at the intersection of Willie and Baldwin Streets, where Colyer Ruiz was shot by a Madison police officer. Just blocks away from the Capitol, hundreds of demonstrators gathered last night advocating for Ruiz and his family. They're doing that by performing a sit-out. That means they are not sitting in any of the businesses. Rather, they're gathering outside and sitting down outside those doors, making sure they have to be closed. This is to stop them from getting money for the day. Whiskey Jack's is one of the first businesses the sit-out began at, and organizers are emphasizing that this is organized. They're doing it on behalf of Colyer Ruiz, and they have demands. Demand number 1, arrest the officer. Number 2, all independent information should be given to the Civilian Oversight Board. And demand number 3, Civilian Oversight Board should have disciplinary power. Demonstrators say they won't stop until demands are met.
When we made the demands in 2020, that was the establishment of the Civilian Oversight Board. When we said no, stood up as youth, I was 19 years old at the time, saying, hey, no, we want a Civilian Oversight Board. We want community control over the police. And we got it. And since 6 years since then, they have been underfunding us, cutting us every step of the way. And so it's paramount that we strengthen this board, because if the board has the opportunity to do proper investigations, to hire and fire police officers instead of giving them suspension with pay.
The family of Colyer Ruiz hired prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who made it a point to describe Ruiz's death as an execution. Crump says Ruiz had documented mental health issues and that police should have been able to de-escalate the situation. Crump also made note of the fact that Madison police officers do not currently have body cameras.
Thank God there was video. It was unnecessary, unjustified, and unconstitutional how they executed Colyer Ruiz.
The family says they won't stop fighting until they get justice. And as investigators look into the officer-involved shooting this week, they will not have that body camera footage because, like we said, Madison Police Department doesn't have them. They've been proposed several times over the past decade, and following the shooting, Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway said her proposed budget would include funding for cameras. This week on For the Record, political reporter Ellie LaLiberte talks with the Common Council president.
The reason I feel confident that this will happen is because in our November 2025 budget discussions and planning for 2026, there was a resolution by just a couple alders to defund the Office of the Independent Monitor, to take that $400,000+ and give it to the police department for body-worn cameras.
You can watch that full interview this morning right here on For the Record at 10:30. Meanwhile, we want to remind commuters in Madison that Williamson Street and South Baldwin Street will remain closed indefinitely. Portions of the roads have been closed since Wednesday afternoon when the shooting occurred. Now, Willie Street is closed to vehicles from just east of the Willie Street Co-op to South Dickinson Street. South Baldwin Street is closed between East Wilson Street and Jennifer Street, and you can detour around the area using First Street, East Washington Avenue, and South Ingersoll. You're taking a live look now at the White House, where President Trump will return later today. He spent the weekend golfing at his club in Virginia Saturday. As CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports, he talked to a French reporter about the war in Iran and posted about Canadian air quality. That after the country disinvited U.S. officials from the opening of a bridge between Detroit and Windsor, Ontario.
President Trump spent much of his Saturday golfing at his club in Virginia, following his speech at the White House Correspondents' Dinner Friday night.
I'm probably being a little bit oversensitive. Sometimes I really do think that some of you don't like me. In fact, I read a report, I get 93% negative publicity.
The president also touched on the U.S. war in Iran.
They are talking to us right now. They'd love to make a deal. I don't think they're ready to. I don't think it's time yet, but I'm willing to listen.
Sources tell CBS News there's been progress in talks between Iran and Oman on the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The regional sources say U.S. attacks on sites around the waterway were paused this weekend after 13 straight nights because of the delicate in-person negotiations. That's despite continuing Iranian attacks on neighboring countries. President Trump did tell a French reporter Saturday he would resume a full-scale war with Iran if the U.S. doesn't get 100% of what the administration wants. The president also posted this image of an air filter between the U.S. and Canada after hitting the country with new 50% tariffs on some exports. In turn, U.S. officials were disinvited from a celebration to open the new Gordie Howe Bridge connecting Michigan and Ontario. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
As the war drags on, gas prices continue to rise. AAA now reporting an average of $4.11 a gallon. In the Janesville-Beloit area, the average is $3.90, and for Madison and La Crosse folks, you're down a few pennies at $3.88. Let's check in again now on your certified most accurate forecast. Jason has that this morning. Hey.
Good morning, Michelle Renee. We have very foggy skies across much of the region. That's just because of how humid it is outside. Usually don't see fog at 72 degrees, but that means that dew points at 72 degrees, so a very muggy day ahead. And that's going to fuel some severe weather as we go into tonight, especially late into those overnight hours. So taking a peek at futurecast, we're going to see this line form out of northern Wisconsin and push off to the south. We're going to see how far east it goes, but it may clip us and bring us very strong winds, gusty, heavy rain, thunder as we move into those morning hours. And the main threat is going to be winds up to 60 miles an hour with this system, although it clears out and we'll be left with a very hot day coming up for Monday.
All right, we better take those wind conditions seriously. Time now, 7:34. Former Badger is returning to the 608 in your morning sports fix. But first, we're going to show you a look outside because Jason will be returning with your full forecast when we come back on weekend mornings. Keep it here. We'll be back.
And now, Weekend Morning Sports, brought to you by TDS.
After dominating on the, hang on a second guys, on the volleyball court for the Badgers, Colyer began her professional career, but something was missing. And as sports director Andrew Banstra is reporting, that something was Madison.
I absolutely loved my college experience here last year.
And it's hard to blame her. In her one season at Wisconsin, Colyer was one of the best volleyball players in the country in 2025. The outside hitter was a first-team All-American and took the Badgers to the Final Four. That led Colyer to being the first overall pick in the Major League Volleyball draft, and now she's coming back to Madison, playing for Love Madison.
How could I not want to come back and play in front of these incredible fans? They were absolutely incredible with my time as being a Badger, and I'm so excited to see them once again when I'm in Love Madison.
The California native fell in love with the 608. Between the Wisconsin Ice and the very best volleyball fans in the country, taking her talents to Madison's professional volleyball team was a no-brainer.
As soon as I walked into Wisconsin, everyone here welcomed me with open arms. I don't know if it's that Midwestern charm or what, but it genuinely felt like home the second I got here. And I'm so excited to spend my next era of my life here.
Even better, she gets to play with Caroline Crawford and Temi Thomas-Laura, who played for the Badgers before Colyer got there, and Lauren Carlini, the Olympian who played for the Badgers and is now on Wisconsin's coaching staff.
I think that's what Love's all about. I think they really wanted to get more Badgers in the gym this year, and I think we were able to achieve that. I think it's really exciting for the fans. Again, they got to see us all in Badger uniforms, and now they'll get to see us and cheer for us in Madison uniforms.
A good business move, undoubtedly. Love Madison is all in on the Badgers, making them an immediate title contender this winter. In Madison, I'm Andrew Banstra for News 3 Sports.
Andrew, thank you. And now I'm going to be setting Jason up for the weather, bumping it over for your first warned forecast this morning.
Thanks, MRQ. We're going to see some fog out there this morning as you step outside. Pretty nice this morning. You might want to get out now before it gets to the very hot weather we're going to see later on. We could see temperatures up into those triple digits today. We'll see that muggy meter is going to go up. We're going to see very humid weather as we go towards today. We're going to see temperatures up in that oppressive to very humid range, and that's going to be nearing 75 for those dew points. So very humid out there. That's why we have fog this morning, despite it already being 70 degrees out there. For what it could look like, that futurecast feels like factor is going to be well into those triple digits for western Wisconsin. Prairie du Chien 104, Eau Claire up at 99, and here in Madison we'll see 98 and 99 down there in Janesville. So a very hot day Sunday. Another hot day coming our way on Monday. If those storms clear out, we could see 102 here in Madison, 106 in Platteville. So two very hot days coming our way. So make sure to take those heat precautions, stay hydrated, take those breaks in the shade. We do have severe threats Sunday night into Monday morning, and the main threat with that is going to be strong wind gusts, but hail and tornadoes are also possible. What this could look like, we'll see storms form in northern Wisconsin and move southeast throughout those overnight hours. It could end up shifting towards being more over Lake Michigan, but for now our models are having it right in the middle of southern Wisconsin, so we could see that move in around 3, 4 o'clock, and right along this leading edge is where those strong winds would be. We'll see that track into Madison around 5, 6 o'clock and move off to our south, clearing us out for a very hot Monday, and we'll see that stick around. We'll see those temperatures already 89, 93 by 1 o'clock there. Looking at your 10-day forecast for La Crosse, 93 for your Sunday, 94 on Monday, a very hot one. And then as we go into next week, it cools off a little bit. Similar story here in Madison. 2 alert days for 2 very hot days, as well as that thunderstorm chance Sunday overnight into Monday morning. So have a way to get those warnings overnight. You might have to turn those notifications on so you can stay safe. The WISC weather app can help you with that. And as we go into the rest of this week, we get cools off a little bit. We got a nice summer pattern, mid-80s and sunshine for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Thank you, Jason. Up next on Weekend Mornings in your Health Conversations, Kyrie Lee talks fitness routines with SSM Health's Dr. Rupa Shah. But first, we are going to see a little bit more outside. Keep it here. It's Weekend Mornings.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
And welcome back, folks. We're tracking that heat for today as well as tomorrow. So we have an extreme heat warning for western parts, Grant County up towards La Crosse, up towards Eau Claire. You guys are in that extreme heat warning for feels like temperatures up to 105. And then Madison, we're in that heat advisory, which means we have feels like temperatures up to 100, and we'll likely see that be extended to Monday as well. Planning your day, pretty cool right now, but very muggy, 77 as you walk outside, and then we'll see 93 with very high dew points. Those feels like temperatures pushing those triple digits, so a very hot one outside today. And I want you to be weather aware for tonight. We could see some very strong thunderstorms roll through into those overnight hours, so make sure to have a way to get those warnings overnight, as we might see those storms pop up and move south across Wisconsin.
All right, thank you, Jason. Getting back into a fitness routine can feel overwhelming for some, especially when life is busy or you don't have access to a gym or trainer. But experts say a good workout plan does not have to be complicated. Our Kyrie Lee joins us for this morning's health conversation with Dr. Rupa Shah.
This morning, wellness coach and SSM Health family medicine physician Dr. Rupa Shah is here to break down how to build a balanced fitness program, including strength training, cardio, and the importance of warming up and cooling down. So first and foremost, what's the first step before jumping into a workout routine?
I think it's really important to gauge where you're at before you start, right? What is your baseline heart rate? What is your baseline flexibility, endurance, strength? Once you kind of know where you're at, then you can use that as a baseline to monitor your progress over the course of the next 2, 3, 6 months, maybe even up to a year, right? But you have to know where you're starting to see what kind of progress and growth you're making.
Yes. Yeah. So what are the 3 components of that workout routine?
So for me, what I think makes a really good fitness program is to make it well-rounded is you need 3 main components. I think you need the aerobic, right? You need something like biking, walking, running, something like that, okay? Second, you need strength training. Now, a lot of people think, oh, you need big weights, you need dumbbells. Not necessarily. This could even be for someone who's just getting into it or who hasn't worked out for a long time. Using just your own body weight can be enough to start with strength training. And third, I think you always need a little bit of flexibility and balance training to round out the whole workout, right? Without that, we're going to see injuries, and it's just really important to have that piece also built into your fitness program.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it can be pretty simple too. So
absolutely.
Can you demo some ways?
Yeah, I think there's some things I can show you right here that people could start who are watching at home.
Okay.
Okay. So let's stand up. But like just even for a little bit of cardio, we can just start really simple, marching in place, right? You can just simple like this. As you get a little bit better, you can try and bring the knees up higher. See if you can touch your arms like this. And then if you got really good, you know, you could really just start, right, doing high knees and really doing a little trot, right? So again, you're getting your aerobic. You can do this when you're cooking dinner and waiting for the pasta to boil. You can do this while you're watching TV. There's a commercial break. Really simple and really easy.
Okay.
For strength building, again, we talked about just using your own body weight, right? So again, we can just do some simple squats. Yep, there you go, right? So again, you know, you're waiting for dinner to get ready, or you're waiting for the kids, they're doing their homework, right? You can just, just real simple kind of exercises like this. And then lastly, for flexibility and balance, the one that I do actually like to do it and really do this at home is just trying to practice standing on one leg, right?
Okay.
It sounds really simple and silly, but the more you do it, the better you'll get. So I haven't done this one for a while.
Oh, wait, you have to.
Well, okay, everyone can kind of start where you're comfortable, right? You could do low, to start. Or if you've been doing it for a while, and you can kind of get up here a little bit, right? If you get this down, you could see if you could put your hands up. Oh my gosh, look at you. You are so good.
I was in cheerleading and things like that.
It's all coming back to you.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back.
So again, those are some ways just to kind of build this in. And you don't need, again, no fancy equipment, right? Super quick and easy. But what I like to recommend to people is set realistic goals, right? It's not enough to say, I want to be stronger in 3 months, right? What you should really do is, in 3 months from now, I want to be able to do 10 push-ups. Give yourself a realistic goal that you want to look forward to, and then build on that slowly. And that really keeps you on track and will make it a little bit more manageable.
Yes, I think that, just having those short-term goals is definitely what keeps you from getting burnt out on it as well. So.
And the other really important thing is a lot of people jump into exercise routines, but it's really important to do a warm-up and a cool-down.
Yes.
So really simple things that we could even do to incorporate that would be like just simple arm circles, right? Like 10 arm circles, just to get things warmed up, forwards and then backwards. Yeah, just to loosen up that entire shoulder girdle. You could do some shoulder rolls, forward and backwards, right? Real simple.
Yes.
Make sure to work on your torso too, so some torso twists, right? Just to warm those up. There you go. And then for cool down, and this I would say, and arguably as you get older, like me, the cool down becomes even more important. So some of the things I like to do for that are you could do standing hamstring stretches, right? Or quad stretches, I should say. Yep, so you could do, you can kind of really feel that in through the quad, right?
Oh gosh,
yeah. Yeah, there you go. And then you'll really feel that nice stretch. This is working on balance and stretching. You could also do this on the ground if you wanted. And then you could just do kind of simple hamstring scoops, something like this, to really work kind of that back hamstring, feel that good stretch in there. But really make sure you're spending 5 or 10 minutes at the end of a workout doing things like this to cool down. You can even do kind of side bends, right? Just working into the spine. Real simple, easy, right?
Yes.
There you go.
And it feels good. It relaxes your body.
It does feel good. Yeah.
Yes, because sometimes I'll just jump into a workout without warming up or anything, but don't do that.
Don't do that. And again, if anything hurts, it's a signal to yourself that you should stop and not go any further. So listen to your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number one, because you don't want to end with an injury.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Dr. Shaw, before we go, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Wellness with Dr. Shaw.
All right. Thanks for joining me.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. Still ahead, we share a song sent in from Nissa. Be like her and create a weekend playlist by sending me a song. My email is on your screen now, and be sure to tune in to Weekend Mornings to hear your song. Now, here's a sneak peek of what you can expect on For the Record.
Coming up on For the Record. This week, a Madison police officer shot and killed a man in Madison. What we know about the incident and where the investigation goes from here. And that investigation will continue without body camera footage. The push now from city leaders to get the devices. We sit down with Common Council President Sabrina Madison. That's all coming up on For the Record at 10:30. You're watching Weekend Mornings.
You are listening to Bulletproof by LaRue. Nissa suggested this song because Hillary Duff is playing in Tinley Park, Illinois tonight with LaRue as the opener. Very timely. You know how to send us a playlist pick, so be part of our weekend morning. My email is on your screen. And now we're going to get you a final look at your forecast. Jason's got that.
Yeah, we're tracking alert day heat for today and tomorrow. It could feel like 100 degrees this afternoon, and we'll also see some storms roll on through as we go towards Monday tonight into Monday morning. We could see strong storms, so make sure you have a way to get weather alerts tonight. Those will clear out, leave us with a very hot Monday, and then that clears on out, and we're left with a nice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with temperatures in those upper 80s and sunshine.
All right, thanks, Jason. Now your motivation for today is a quote from Queen Elizabeth II. She said, "It is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change."
Thanks for watching Weekend Mornings.
Up next is CBS Sunday Morning, followed by Face the Nation and For the Record.
Our next newscast is coming up at 5:30.
And you can always find us streaming on Channel 3000+. Have a great week.